This is a new tale from Tales Under Shells, where stories are lived, not instructed. As this story unfolds, allow your breath to stay with you. Priya suddenly flinched. Again! She rubbed her forehead in frustration. For the third time in the last hour, she had drifted away from reality and into another fantasy. It was not anything new. She had spent years living inside stories. Sometimes she imagined herself standing on a stage while people applauded her. Sometimes someone finally noticed her, chose her, loved her. Sometimes she imagined herself becoming the hero of a difficult situation and earning everyone's admiration. The fantasies changed, the feeling never did. No matter how hard she tried to stay present, her mind would slip away. For years, she believed she simply lacked discipline. So she tried forcing herself to stop. Whenever a fantasy appeared, she would pull herself back, focus, be present, pay attention. Yet, the fantasies always returned, stronger, almost as if they were trying to tell her something. One evening, instead of fighting them, she decided to observe them. The next time she caught herself drifting away, she opened her phone and wrote down exactly what she was imagining. He finally sees me and realizes I am the one. Everyone is cheering for me. They are proud of me. They notice me. Over the next few days, she collected dozens of fantasies. Then she sat down and read them. At first, they seemed completely different, but as she looked closer, a pattern began to emerge. He sees me, they notice me, they choose me, they admire me. Slowly, a realization surfaced. The fantasies were not about success, they were not about romance, they were not even about being special, they were about being seen. Priya stared at the screen. Something inside her shifted. For a moment, she simply sat there. Then another question appeared. Why do I need to be seen so badly? She searched for an answer. Nothing came. Then a memory surfaced. She saw herself as a little girl walking into an empty house. Every day was the same. Her parents were working, her siblings were busy with their own lives. There was no one waiting for her, no one asking how her day had been, no one really noticing when she felt sad. Another memory followed. She remembered sitting alone at school while other children laughed together. She remembered feeling different, out of place, invisible. Back then, she didn't have the words to explain the loneliness. So, she did the only thing she could. She created company. Inside her imagination, there were people who understood her, people who chose her, people who cared. The fantasies were never the problem, they had been a solution. A child who felt unseen had built a world where she mattered. A child who felt disconnected had built a world where she belonged. Priya felt tears gathering in her eyes. For the first time, she was not angry at herself. She was not trying to fix herself. She finally understood herself. She opened her notebook and began writing. I thought my fantasies were distracting me from life. She paused. Now I realize they were protecting me from loneliness. Another sentence appeared. I was not escaping reality because I was lazy. I was escaping a feeling I didn't know how to carry. She said quietly after writing those words. Then another question arose. If disconnection created this wound, what heals it? The answer felt surprisingly simple. Connection. Not more fantasies, not more hope, not more self criticism. connection. The part of her that felt invisible didn't need to be fixed, it needed to be seen. So she started taking small steps. She joined an offline computer class she had been postponing for months. She spent more time outside. She visited a nearby park instead of sitting alone in her room. Sometimes she started small conversations. Sometimes she simply sat among people. The loneliness didn't disappear overnight, neither did the fantasies. But something slowly changed. Every real connection gave her nervous system evidence that she no longer had to survive inside her imagination. Months later, she still drifted into fantasy from time to time. But now she understood what those fantasies were trying to tell her. Beneath every fantasy was not a desire to be special, it was a longing to feel that she mattered, to feel seen, to feel connected. And for the first time in her life, she was learning to find those things in reality. So, if you often find yourself lost in fantasies, pause for a moment. Instead of asking, how do I stop? Ask a different question. What need is this fantasy trying to meet? Maybe it's connection, maybe it's love, maybe it's belonging, maybe it's the feeling of finally being seen. Because often the fantasy is not the problem, it's a message. And once you understand the message, you can begin giving yourself in reality what you have been searching for in imagination. If something is stayed inside you, you don't have to name it. Just know you're not wrong for feeling this way.